Hi guys, Synova here again. I just wanted to drop in to YouTube and discuss the Dixie Mafia a little bit more with you guys. For those of you that don't know me or are new to my channel, my name is Synova Cantrell. I'm Southwest Missouri's #1 true crime writer. I work as a victims advocate for Missouri Missing Organization, where I highlight obscure cold cases on my blog. I also do missing persons cases that are active at the moment, and I've been asked to dive into the Dixie Mafia and generate some publicity about the Dixie Mafia and a series of cold cases involving them. So I've been doing a lot of studying, and I've been releasing a Mobster Monday post every week for the last several weeks. And so those of you that don't know what my website is, it is synovainc.com, synovaink.com. And so you can hop on over there and subscribe. You'll also get a free ebook called Grim Justice, and you will get a weekly true crime newsletter that is fashioned just for my subscribers. So you'll get all kinds of extra free content that no one else gets. So make sure and hop over there and check out all of my posts. But and then I have several true crime books that are published on Amazon, so you can go to Amazon.com and type in Synova Cantrell, and you'll find a whole series of books that I've written, including the biography of an ex-gangster from Chicago. So that title is Unorganized Crime, so make sure and check that out. This week I am wanting to talk to you about something called the State Line Mob. Now, the State Line Mob is the predecessor of the Dixie Mafia. So before the Dixie Mafia became public knowledge, they were just a loosely band of thugs that worked together when it was beneficial for themselves. And so, but it all kind of started, and of course, these criminals came from elsewhere, but it kind of all started and came to a head around the state line of Tennessee and Mississippi. They were causing a big boatload of trouble right there at the state line. And so you have a series of characters that are larger than life, these outlaws and gangsters from the South that really cause a lot of trouble. And then you have a lot of evil and a lot of people coming up that are criminals. You've got all this turmoil, and then of course to combat that rises up this big legendary lawman called Buford Pusser, which is what the basis of the stories of the movies Walking Tall is all about. It's about his fight against the state line mob. Well, the way Hollywood does and the way legends are created is they take a nugget of truth, and then they take those facts and they blow them out of proportion. Well, that's what makes a good movie, and that's what the reason why Hollywood is so successful. But there is a lot of exaggerations in those movies. And so I've been studying about the state line mob, about all of the big name characters, including Sheriff Pusser, and what did he really do? Was he, this big phenomenal lawman, or was he? Some people think he's just as corrupt as the other guys. Other people say he was a saint. Whatever the case is, he was a massive figure in his time, and eventually, because of him and multiple law enforcement agencies, they were able to clean up the state line a lot. And but there was a few scraggly characters left over behind after that big push from law enforcement, and those characters were what created the Dixie Mafia as we know it now. And so this is a series of videos that's going to kind of explain a few things, and it's kind of a companion video to my blog series. So if you're not on my blog, you'll get plenty of information about the Dixie Mafia right here. But if you want more information, hop over to my website, and you'll be able to get a whole lot more information, because I spend hours and hours of research for every article that I do. You'll get all kinds of links to other websites that give you more information. You'll get to get a peek inside the newspaper archives that I've found. So you'll get a lot of more information from my website. So all of that will be in the comments below, so you'll be able to see those links and go wherever you wish. Okay, so let's dive into the state line mob. Before the Dixie Mafia term was coined by law enforcement, there's the state line mob. And just like the Dixie Mafia, they were just very loosely connected. They all worked together when it benefited them. But if they could make more money on their own, they would, So it's not like the Italians where everything you do, you have to kick up a profit to the big guy. This was one of those things where they worked together when it was beneficial, and then they let everyone do their own thing. So I'm just going to list off a series of big names here that I will go into and discuss in this video and future videos as we go along. If you see me looking down, it's because I have all my notes on my phone, so I don't miss anything. So let's see, you've got a group of characters. One is Jack and Louise Hathcock. Okay, now Jack and Louise Hathcock, they ran the Shamrock Motel. Now, part of it was actually in the state of Tennessee, and then part of it crossed the line into Mississippi. So they used that to their benefit. So they knew that it would kind of mix up law enforcement if they were out of the jurisdiction. And those two were big heavy hitters in the state line mob. Eventually, I'll go into more details how Louise Hathcock killed Jack Hathcock and went with her boyfriend instead. But she ended up getting off because of self-defense. But of course, half of the judges in the county, half of the law enforcement in the county, they were all bought off, so they weren't going to go up against her. So she was known to be one pistol. I mean, in her apron when she was serving tables, she had a ball-peen hammer, and there was witnesses that seen her literally beat someone to death with a ball-peen hammer. This is the kind of woman we're talking about. So you had to be really tough and very self-assured to be able to come up against someone like that. That's for sure. But anyways, her boyfriend was a guy by the name of Carl Douglas White. They called him Towhead. Well, there's different rumors about how he got his name. I don't really care. His nickname was Towhead White. And if you go to the South today, in these few counties, you will still find people related to Towhead. You'll find people that knew Towhead, people that loved him, people that hated him. And the thing is about all these legendary characters, depending on which side of the fence you're talking to, they are either evil human beings or they were just misunderstood. So you have to take that into account when you're talking to someone that is related to Towhead White. They're going to automatically lean towards, oh, he wasn't that bad of a guy. You talk to law enforcement and they're like, he's evil incarnate. So you kind of have to have a little common sense and say, okay, listen to both sides of the argument and go down the middle. And down the middle somewhere is where you're going to find the truth. That's something I do when I do all my investigations. But then, of course, Towhead White had this goal in mind, and he wanted to be known as the Al Capone of the South. Well, he kind of fell short of that, but he sure gave it a good try, And you have to remember, Al Capone was well funded. Al Capone had an entire organization behind him. Towhead White was just a thug from the South that would kill anybody that he could get a chance to. So, he didn't have quite the I hate to use it in these terms, but he didn't have quite the platform to jump off of, So he got pretty close though. So I mean, the FBI counted him as one of the big threats in the South. So he did make it. So we're talking about different people that I will go into more detail later, but. In the 1940s, Corinth, Mississippi was known as a hideout for some of the big major Chicago outfit members, and this continued for decades. But one of the big major places to hang was the Shamrock Hotel, which was, run by Louise Hathcock. And so this is a very well-established rural place where criminals like to hang out, and they had their flings with the prostitutes. They got their moonshine. They did a lot of, their illegal deals. Everything that they did right here. And of course, Jack and Louise Hathcock were happy to serve them breakfast, and a girl on the side, whatever they wanted, they were happy to provide it because they got plenty of money. Now, as that started to subside a bit, a lot of the violence got escalated around the Shamrock Hotel, and it was a well-known thing that they would lure tourists in with a cheap homemade Southern breakfast, and then they would be mugged and robbed during the process of their stay at this lovely hotel. And if you've caused too much fuss with local law enforcement about getting robbed of your belongings and your valuables, then you would end up dead and at the bottom of the nearby lake. So a lot of people, there was a few people that tried to kick up a stink about it, but then you can't. When all the law enforcement or most of them are bought off from the bad guys, then it's just one of those deals you can't get anywhere. So most people had, the idea, well, we're just going to go on and not come back, that we just can't do this. Well, so I will tell you in the next video about the story of the death of Jack Hathcock. By the hands of his wife, and then we'll get into all the stories around this pistol Louise Hathcock. But this gives you a short rundown of the State Line mob and how they would eventually lead to the Dixie Mafia. So if you guys like this content, I want you guys to like and share. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. This is a very new channel. I've just got a few subscribers because we're just launching this and starting from scratch. So if you like it, please subscribe. It means a lot. It helps me get established with YouTube. I've got a goal of hitting 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I want that big fancy plaque. So, and I'm going to stick it right back here with all my true crime awards. So guys, help me out. I will see you guys next time, and have a great day.